Okay, so for those of you that have been following, the Bobcat is 95% complete. I am going to make a shield that comes up on top here, that comes down, and it'll have a nice louver here to let air out. I think I'm going to change this flipper flapper setup. I'm going to do just an out pipe so that the hot air and everything is just blowing across and pulling that air out with it. I did finally fix this. So now that works like it's supposed to. But here's what it looks like in all of its glory. It's all together. Wires are all nice and clean, tidy. There are some extra circuits here that I'm planning on doing some work with later. I'm going to add a coolant temp sensor basically, but it's going to be off of a newer modern engine, and so it'll be a single wire cylinder head temp sensor is what I'm going to use, because that doesn't have to have water on it. It actually gets its heat, its signal from the aluminum that's heating up. So I'm in hopes that that will help with keeping everything under wraps as far as knowing what my temperature's at and all that. But that's the engine, guys. She's installed, she runs. Those are 7/8 of an inch spacers that I did, and everything lines up perfectly. Let me see if I can get a picture in the back here. There's the coupler setup. Everything seems to be working correctly. I don't have any knocking or noise. That's all correct. The heat shield that I did is working out nicely. It's pulling air across that radiator at all times. I turned this so that it aims backwards. That way it's getting fresh air through the vents inside. I may add somewhat of a plenum on here. What that'll do is it'll come out and it'll have like a box that sort of meets this shape here, so it gets fresh air all the time. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to do that or not. It depends on how the engine acts when it gets warm outside. Today it's about 45 degrees, so not super hot. Battery's still covered in hydraulic fluid from my prior leak, which was these hoses. I put new hoses up to the lift cylinders as well, so that's all done. There's the throttle linkage. I used the original throttle lever that came with the kit, with the Repower Specialist kit. I made my own bracket that holds this. I drilled a hole in it, popped the handle off and drilled a hole in it so that it hooks to the factory throttle linkage, which I think is nicer. I do have to do a little bit of adjustment here because at idle it does touch this hydraulic line. So I'm going to add a little bit of a bend there and add a little bit of a bend down here somewhere to get it more straight in line with this throttle lever. But that's the cable that came with the kit. The choke cable I used was the one that was already in the tractor because I had already ran a new one and I didn't feel like running another one. It was already zip tied off and out of the way. Exhaust, the flex tubing worked out perfectly. This is their exhaust. I cut off all the brackets to that weird looking muffler. Like I said, I did not want to void my warranty. So I cut off all the brackets. I welded on some new ones, painted the muffler black. My new heat shield that comes down is going to come and bolt onto each one of these. So it'll be a plate that basically comes in and it tucks up underneath it here to keep rain and snow and garbage and trash out of the inside of this fan. I don't want to damage that fan. So like I said, I'm going to be doing a louver. It'll be down to nothing up here, and it'll be up about 2-3 inches in the back. So it'll leave me a nice space for air to get out to escape. But as of right now, everything is working correctly. I guess I'll leave the door open. I'll let you guys hear it real quick. She fires right up, idles like a kitten. No major vibration like I thought I was going to have, so that is a very nice benefit. All of my functions work correctly. It's actually not too loud when you have the... She's trying to take off on me. The engine brake does not work on this. So every once in a while I got to touch the lever, keep it from driving away. On this left side I got to do an adjustment. We'll go ahead and shut this off, but starts right up, runs good. I do have to do an adjustment on this drive unit. It seems to want to stay engaged, but outside of that, guys, it's all done. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I will be doing some tutorials here in the near future on how all of this was installed and all the requirements that you'll have to do to meet this engine specifications so that it will mount up directly to this engine. It's not too bad. Pretty easy to do, really, once you figure it out. It is just kind of complicating because there were a few things that weren't exactly perfect, but as they state, there will be modifications in the instructions itself. It says you'll have to do modifications for your particular unit because this engine is sort of a universal engine. So keep that in mind. Nothing is a direct bolt-in unless it's the engine that came out of it. So always remember that. There will be modifications. There are going to be things that you have to do. So, yep, that's it. Thank you guys. I appreciate everybody's support. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend.